In today's fast-moving society, there are two things that people always require on their devices: enough power and speed. From either their smartphone's processing performance to its capability to connect with the world immediately, everything should be reliable and real-time. And O Plus wants to address these demands by introducing a smartphone that has the right qualifications to help cater people's needs: the O Evo 4G. This thing sports a high-speed data connection, plus there's also a 64-bit processor on top. Is the hyped spec sheet can really satisfy? Let's figure that out in our full review. The device may look identical to one of the most prominent devices that's already in the market. But what separates the Evo 4G from that particular device is that it doesn't have stereo speakers on front, it is not made with metal, and the back is far south with the HTC M8's beauty. Taking a tour, we got a 5-inch HD IPS display on the front, together with a 2-megapixel front-facing camera, ambient light and proximity sensor, the capacitive buttons, and the earpiece that looks like a loudspeaker. The left side is empty as the right has the lock and power button and the volume controls. At the top, we got the micro USB port and the 3.5mm headphone jack, while the bottom part only has the lid to pop out the removable back cover. We also got the 8-megapixel primary camera with the LED flash, the O Plus branding, and the loudspeaker at the back. Removing the back cover shall reveal the 2 SIM card slots and the micro SD card slot, which is capable of up to 32GB. You can also get a glimpse of the actual battery, but unfortunately, it is not removable. Nevertheless, the general look of the front and the gray borders and the rounded edges are the only design perspective that is identical with HTC's masterpiece. There's a 5-inch IPS display that's fronting this device, with 720 by 1280 resolution and has 320 pixels per inch. It is also safely coated with a scratch-resistant glass. In a nutshell, the display's capability is pretty impressive for the device's price. The colors are well saturated, as well as the contrast ratio. Although sunlight legibility is kind of middling, but still pretty usable outdoors during extreme daylight conditions. Viewing experience is also imposing. Watching movies and any other clips are enjoyable, not only because of the Evo 4G's display hardware, but also with the processor's advanced features. MediaTek's Clear Motion is present. It smoothens everything out and gives the user a feeling of a 60 frames per second video playback. Mirror Vision is also here to help boost the color quality while optimizing battery consumption. The device brags a 64-bit processor, a MediaTek quad-core chip, clocked in at 1.5 GHz. There's also a pleasant 1GB of RAM in tow, and a Mali T760 graphics card. For a brief explanation about 64-bit processors, a 64-bit processor can perform more calculations per second than the 32s, which delivers a more faster processing muscle that results to a snappier performance. Although, there are still some things that needs to be considered before pumping a device with a 64-bit processor. For one, operating systems are playing a crucial role in taking advantage of this processor. As with the O Plus 4G, it only sports Android 4.4.4 KitKat at the moment, which only has a 32-bit architecture. Although the software may work seamlessly with this one, but then again, it cannot take full advantage of its capabilities. The only software version that can take full advantage of this processor is the Android Lollipop 5.0, which O Plus may decide to grace this device anytime soon. That having all said, the processor may have some hit or miss at this time, but it also has a lot of great potential, a potential that can be unleashed with just an over-the-air update. The Evo 4G is capable of 4G LTE connection. Although I know some are still hesitant about this type of devices due to some network and ISP limitations. But given that there's a stable 4G signal connection, the results can get pretty overwhelming. I have run some various speed tests and the highest score that I got was a whopping 53 MB per second, while some tests gave me a result of 10 Mbps up to 20 megabits per second. Although you really want to make sure that you have a 4G connection in your area before acquiring this one, as the 3G connection and the H+ can get pretty annoyingly slow to use. Despite the price tag, the device's camera modules doesn't come second rate. It still boasts an 8-megapixel primary camera and a 2-megapixel front-facing one. The photo quality it can take is fairly impressive. It has some excellent saturation and sharpness, given that the lighting conditions are great. Low light shots were also pretty impressive. However, expect some mushiness and some obvious grains and noises on the photos taken. Low light shots were also pretty usable. However, expect some mushiness and some obvious grains and noises on the photos taken. The Evo 4G hosts a 2500 mAh battery, which offers a decent amount of juice to power the device at a decent amount of time. Screen on time lasted for 3 to 4 hours with heavy and continuous use, almost 7 hours of web browsing via 4G connection, and almost 1 to 2 days with casual use. Oplus's first take on a 64-bit device is off to a good start, offering it alongside with other pleasing specifications and a pretty acceptable price tag. You could never go wrong with this device. The Evo 4G still has a lot of potentials waiting to be unchained, like the 64-bit processor, which can only be fully utilized when the Lollipop update arrives. Also, the 4G connection can only be entirely harnessed on a 4G capable environment. If you think this device is for you, you can get yours at only 7,995 pesos. This has been NoypiGeeks' full review of the O Evo 4G. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and share this video if you loved it. And also subscribe if you still haven't. Thank you for watching.